Hello and welcome to GM Talks. Today we're going to have a great story from the past. Um, it was in the World Championship 2001, and the Danish grandmasters were sort of working together to help Peter Heine Nielsen. I was a paid second, and but Schandorff he also volunteered to help a little bit, and we made a great novelty that actually, with Peter, of course, that actually changed the history of chess, and it's a little known story. So here you will get it. The thing is, we found a great novelty in the Catalan, or also known as in some sort of hybrid with the Queen's Indian, and Nielsen used this against Anand in the World Championship tournament in Moscow 2001. I was there at the time. And in the first round, Heine had won against Goldin, where we used a great preparation we had made in the Vienna. It's a Queen's Gambit kind of thing. And then it was Anand. And the bad thing was the main tournament took place in Kremlin. But on this day, we were moved to the Central Chess Club in Moscow, and we were not allowed, the seconds were not allowed to go inside, and there were no internet at that day. There were at the other side, so we could not see anything. We just later heard that Heine came out of the room and he had lost to Anand, and he told that he actually had probably a winning position with the novelty. So here we go. It's Heine is white, and he played d4. All these moves. This starts out as a Queen's Indian. Was very popular line at the time. It's still popular to this day. Nowadays, it usually comes from the Catalan, with bishop b4 check and bishop e7, and usually black doesn't hurry with b6 and bishop a6. Anyway, this is all main theory. Castle d5, and the thing was, at that time a new line was very popular for black. That was to postpone castling and trying to attack this pawn very fast with a rook to the c file. So this is all main theory, and rook d1 also known. And here comes, usually in this position nowadays, black would castle. This would be the normal move in this line. But at the time, this move was very popular. The idea is simply to blast open the position with c6 to c5 before white gets his e4 in. And white's plan in this position is something like this and here, right? And he's trying to prevent that before, but of course you go bishop f4 first. This position has been tried in countless grandmaster games. And here black, if he castle, we will transpose to a totally normal position that has been played in thousands of games, I think. And is probably fine for black. I don't see any problems. We had analyzed it in depth, me and Lars Schandorff, Danish grandmaster, also a known author, and Peter Heine. And we actually analyzed it on my living room table, where we were sitting and analyzing these things. And we got this great idea, and it's coming up. c5. This is the idea for black. Simply go c5 before white gets to get his pieces out, and saying that, okay, my king is here, it's pretty safe, don't worry. And we thought, okay, we were sure that someone would play this at the tournament, because it was all the rage at that time in 2001. The question was if Heine was good to play it, and but Heine has a very, very good sense of getting his his preparation in. I don't know how he does that, but he's very, very good at that. And at that time, he already sensed that this was extremely important. And another thing to know is that Anand is he very much used topical lines. He's very good at picking up on the latest trends. If there's a tournament trend, Anand will pick it up and use it. You will see that in a later video. Anyway, take. And here comes the novelty. The thing is, black looks to be okay. All these pieces are tagging here. This one, and this one. And you cannot take here because there's also this thing here. And it looks kind of fine for black, but there is some things. First of all, the king is here. Make that yellow. And now, second of all, the queen is here, and we have this thing going. And white did manage to castle, black didn't manage to castle. So here comes knight c3. And this was the novelty we had prepared at in my living room. And we were getting quite excited during the analysis because this was very interesting. And at that time, computers were almost no use. So it was very, very manual with hand, and analyzing was something different than it is today. Anyway, after this game, this line actually completely disappeared. The thing is, black needs to do something here, so he castle. And here comes the real point of the novelty, and that is e4. That looks really, really interesting, right? So what's going on? The main idea is to go e5 and knight g5. Also, of course, the main idea is to take d5 if possible. If he takes here, and then comes knight g5, and it's just a total disaster for black. Knight d5 is coming, and white gets an extremely strong attack. And I think we are more or less became convinced that this is totally lost for black. So the only move in this position is knight d4. And this is also what Anand played. I didn't see it, of course, because I was not allowed in the room. And the thing is here, it looks a bit annoying because black's got all these things going here, and if the rooks go in here, he will just take on c4 because there's no. So we don't want to leave this rook. So what to do now? Also, we don't want. We have this bishop here, which is something we want to keep out of the game. So if we can just make a big attack without that bishop, we'll be very happy. Here comes the real point of the idea. Boom. And I'm sure Anand was very shocked here. This is and when we were analyzing this, we realized that black is probably already in very serious trouble here, because the only reasonable move here is knight takes f2, and now there's a really dangerous attack here, and he's also threatening here. So what to do? We move the rook to an open file and attacks bishop here. But more importantly, white is getting ready for, and let's make that red, this hitting here. So what can black do? We're just allowing a check. Moving the knight with check. But there's no good way to do that. If you do this, then comes something like this, and you'll probably have to take. And here, and knight d5 is coming. This bishop here is in trouble. There might even be trouble on the d file. There is knight d5 coming. Something like this is just a disaster. You cannot take it because of queen takes h7 mate, and after g6, this is a total disaster for black. He's completely busted. The f pawn will play a big role in this, and this is simply winning for white. The white's move are coming with something like maybe queen c3 to h3, something like this, and again hitting here, and I don't believe black can survive this. These bishops here, they're simply out of the game. They are not playing any part, and white's king is totally safe, even though this pawn is weak. So he played e5. This is also the best move, I believe. And here you should worry about bishop g5, then knight a3. I can show you. If you could do this, then comes here, and losing, but because it's a check. So it's hitting here and here, right? So it has to go back. But this knight has gone sailing away. At the moment, white has not sacrificed anything. And this knight has to get back. And also white is threatening knight g5 maybe in some distant future. At the moment, he just wants to take this. So what about taking a rook for 2 pieces? In a middle game, it's usually very good for the attacking side to have the light pieces because they attack so much better. So e4, keeping up the concentration. You cannot take it because knight is gone, and a knight here, and all this was preparation. And here we thought that we are taking this knight next, and it's all bad for him, we thought. But okay. And here Anand played this, and we had not analyzed this, and that was a mistake. I admit that was this we should have analyzed because it's a very complicated position, and you should, if you can, you should analyze all the way to the end, and we didn't do that. So that was bad secondmanship, or what you will call it, for on our part. And here Nielsen was left to think on himself. But it's pretty clear that the only piece, this knight is gone sailing away. This is totally out of the game. This is not doing much, and anything. There's only one piece that's really a problem, and that's here, right? So Nielsen did the right thing. He went to take away this, and black can play something like this, but here white gets a great attack, really great attack. It's not totally winning, but in a practical game, it's really hard to find a good defense here. And I think white is more or less winning. Okay, so this is all normal. And here Nielsen was thinking for a long time, and unfortunately he chose the wrong move. I think he was very. This is actually the right way to think when you're playing against stronger players, and I don't think I offend Peter by saying that Anand is a stronger player. Is that you really want to play optimal chess. You want to keep the pressure high all the way through, and that's why he played this move, because he still had hopes of attacking this with knight f5. The problem is it doesn't work at all. So instead he should have just played this and threatening knight f5, and this pawn is a weakness. And after this, well, you can probably play I don't know, queen c3 or something. And I think white is much better here. And Peter Heine in his notes in the chess base also says that white is more or less maybe not winning, but absolutely clearly better here. he's gonna end up with a pawn more, and this bishop is a sad sign over here, and Black's king might still gets into some trouble. Instead he played this, and after this it's already all over. This sad bishop is coming out with a vengeance, and there's already a problem here, and this knight is now stupid, and this was the plan, of course, to go and attack, and he thought he could get the knight back, but Anand had seen this move, and now it's all over. He's attacking and defending. It's a great move. He hops in, but this just doesn't work. And, well, you can... And as it came, there was not much to do. And doesn't mess things up like this. And it's already threatening mate. And of course, this was maybe a little bit quick. And here he gave up, maybe a little bit early, but the mate is kind of bad, and I don't see any real good defense. A very typical thing when it goes downhill against strong players, it goes downhill fast. And after he was probably disgusted here and resigned, maybe. And later on he didn't win as Black, which was maybe not so surprising. And well, actually, maybe he is made it kind of quickly here. The king is definitely in trouble. And went out of the World Championship match, and my time as a second was over, and I have not been a second since. I also think that a guy like Peter Heine, who's a great analysis and great opening theoretician, probably is a better second than me, who's more like an idea guy and not an analysis guy. Anyway, the real point of the story here is, of course, that Anand won against Peter Heine Nielsen in the World Championship. That's not a big surprise. This was what everybody would expect. The funny thing about it is that after this game, Anand was so impressed with Peter Heine Nielsen's novelty that he changed. He actually asked Peter to become his second. And Peter became Anand's second, and later head of delegation for Anand while he was world champion. Then he switched to Magnus Carlsen. Was not part of the match between Anand and Carlsen, which was, I think, very fair from Peter's side that he didn't take part in this, and he had known Carlsen all his life, so it was not really bad, even though it maybe felt a little bit like he abandoned Anand, and Peter became after that. So this game actually marked the beginning of Peter Heine's career as the world's most famous and maybe best second. I don't know if he's the best, but he's definitely the most influential or the most successful, since he has been working for the last two champions, world champions. And if we had not found this novelty, of course Peter was part of finding it. Peter will not have been asked by Anand to become his second, and maybe he would not have become the second of Carlsen, and so on. So this is a little bit of history, and I hope you enjoy this story. And if you have any questions, I will answer them in below the video. And if you like this kind of video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and I will be back.